Former President Donald Trump is going to be indicted. He's going to the pokey, perhaps. Let me give you some background because this is interesting. Governor Ron DeSantis out of Florida said, listen, I'm not going to utilize my gubernatorial power to stop the extradition of Donald Trump. Okay, well, that is within your authority, sir. Let's get to it. Florida Governor DeSantis served notice on Monday that he would not use his powers to block the extradition of Donald Trump to New York if the former president balks at turning himself in following the expected indictment. Previous reports have indicated that a Manhattan grand jury will, in fact, hand DA Alvin Bragg exactly what he wants, an indictment related to the former president's part in paying hush money to adult film star Stormy Daniels before the 2016 election. Is this not ironic? All of the trash talking that took place during the first election for Donald Trump, he attempted to basically say she's a nobody. She's a nothing to him. They clowned her, so to speak, on television during press conferences. Even local sheriffs started to harass her at various, let's just say, adult entertainment establishments across the country. It was her who was deemed to be in violation of an initial contract. Now it is Donald Trump who seems to be in violation of a criminal code. There's more. Attorneys for the former president have indicated that he would willingly turn himself in for fingerprinting and an arraignment. The arraignment may take place next week, by the way. But there are worries the unpredictable Trump would balk at being processed, with the New York Times' Maggie Haberman reporting that Trump is very anxious about what he would have to go through. Okay, yeah. Everybody who goes to jail typically is anxious about incarceration, anxious about indictment. They're not comfortable with it, not something they would prefer to go through. But I thought Donald Trump was a man's man. I thought Donald Trump was a tough guy. He's not even going to actually go to jail. What is he balking at? And it is okay if he decides to basically ignore the warrant or the arrest affidavit. Why? Because we have something for that. It's called pick his ass up and put him in jail. That's what you do to regular people. The Constitution provides no extra protections for an ex-president of the United States. None. Why? Because those who framed the Constitution understood what absolute power would do. While they were flawed in many ways, they understood that absolute power does corrupt absolutely. If you have presidents who are above the law, you no longer have a president, you have a king. You no longer have a democracy, you have a monarchy. That is why they provided no extra protections for a former president of the United States. If you could not get him while he was at the brink of power, you can get him afterwards. There's more. Should that be the case, DA Bragg will have to ask, according to the narrative, will have to ask Florida to extradite Trump to New York, and DeSantis, presumed to be the former president's chief rival for the 2024 GOP presidential nomination, would need to sign off on it. According to Zach Anderson of the Herald Tribune, DeSantis will not intercede, telling reporters, and I quote, "We're not going to be involved in any way after criticizing the Manhattan DA." Now, Trump, you picked your friends and you picked your enemies. You wanted DeSantis to be an enemy. That's the one person that you need now to sign this or not. Isn't it ironic? Signatures, once again. While before he wanted Mike Pence to not sign something, now it's DeSantis. DeSantis also took a shot at his GOP rival, telling reporters, and I quote, "I don't know what goes into paying hush money to a porn star. to secure silence over an alleged affair. I can't speak on that. The former president urged his supporters to rally on his behalf. It's time, Trump wrote. We just can't allow this anymore. They're killing our nation as we sit back and watch. We must save America. Protest, protest, protest. Here we go. Now remember, it is the Republican Party, conservatives, who are the ones who will hop on fixed news, say things like the black community has to take responsibility for their actions. They will dismiss the dynamics that lead to unequal or inequitable outcome. But then when it comes to a well-connected, rich, powerful white male, all of a sudden, he bears no responsibility for any activity he has engaged in. When are you going to address the fact that the man paid off an adult film star in violation of law? That's just for starters. Sharon, thoughts here?
Well, they're not going to address it. And as he calls for protest, it reminds me of when we had that insurrection incident, Dr. Richey, January 6th. Remember that? I think we all do. Susan Collins, you were wrong. He didn't learn a lesson. And he's not learned one now. And it is fitting that now he does need the man he refers to as a meatball. He needs a meatball to save him from extradition, if it comes to that. And I believe, Dr. Richey, correct me if I'm wrong, you have many friends who do this sort of thing. They can pick him up anywhere, right? It could be Mar-a-Lago, golf course, McDonald's. When they want him to come in, he's got to come in.
Yeah, that's how it works. And let's hope the Manhattan DA does exactly what he needs to do in order to secure this all the way.